What if I told you that everything you thought you knew about elderly care, about what's healthy and good for your loved ones, could be completely wrong? What if missing just one tiny detail in their diet could cost them their leg strength? It's more common than you think, and it could be happening right under your nose. But the most shocking part? They might not even realize it. In the next few minutes, I'm about to reveal 8 fruits that many seniors absolutely love, fruits they believe are helping them stay healthy. But what if I told you that these very fruits could be silently destroying their leg strength? And here's the worst part, your loved ones are probably eating them every day without even knowing the damage they're doing. You're going to want to keep watching, because the truth behind these fruits could change everything you thought you knew about elderly care. Stay with me for the next few minutes, and I'll show you exactly how these common fruits are secretly weakening your loved ones' muscles and putting their health at serious risk. This isn't just about fruit, it's about making sure the people you love stay strong, mobile, and healthy. Trust me, you won't want to miss this. Stick around, because once you know these truths, you can make a real difference in how you care for them. Let's dive into the truth about these fruits. We all know that fruits are supposed to be healthy, right? We've been told since we were kids to eat our fruits and vegetables to stay strong, to stay healthy. But what happens when the foods we think are doing good for us are actually doing the opposite? What if I told you that some of the most popular fruits, the ones that most seniors enjoy regularly, could be secretly weakening their legs, their mobility, their strength, and they have no idea? I know it sounds unbelievable, but this is something you need to hear. These fruits, no matter how healthy they might seem, could be setting your loved one up for a serious decline in their strength, and it's happening without anyone noticing. If you're caring for a senior, this could be a game changer. It's time to uncover the truth. The first fruit on our list might surprise you. It's packed with vitamins and known for being a healthy choice. But here's the catch, it might be causing muscle loss and weakening their ability to move around comfortably. I know, it sounds like a stretch, but just wait until you hear why this seemingly innocent fruit could be contributing to the problem. This is the first sign that could be making a huge difference in their strength without anyone realizing. You won't want to miss this one. But hold on, don't jump to conclusions just yet. Because that's not all. The next fruit I'm about to tell you about is something you've probably never suspected to be a problem. It's a fruit most people love and might even recommend to others for its health benefits. But in reality, it could be contributing to leg weakness in a way you wouldn't expect. Stay with me, because the next fruit is where things get really interesting and alarming. I remember a senior woman who used to start every single morning with a banana. It was her thing. She'd sit down with her tea, peel open a fresh banana, and that would be her breakfast. She swore by it, thinking it was the healthiest way to kickstart her day. But after a few months, she began noticing something strange. At first, it was just a little fatigue, then it became a bit more. Her legs felt weaker, almost like they were giving out under her. She didn't know what was going on. So, she came to me for advice, asking if this was just part of getting older. But I couldn't help but wonder. Could the banana she was eating every day be the cause? Bananas are often considered a healthy snack, and they are. They're packed with potassium, which is essential for muscle function. But there's a hidden danger that most people overlook. Bananas are also high in sugar. That sugar causes an inflammatory response in the body, especially in seniors. And here's the kicker, it doesn't just affect the waistline. It impacts the circulation too. Over time, this inflammation weakens the muscles and joints, leaving seniors struggling with the very legs they rely on for mobility. So, while she thought she was doing good by eating that banana, the sugar was actually contributing to her weakening leg strength. It's a classic example of a fruit that seems healthy on the surface but could be causing slow damage beneath. Here's the problem, many seniors think bananas are great for their potassium levels, and that's true, they are. But they don't realize that the hidden sugars in bananas are doing more harm than good. They can interfere with circulation, which directly affects muscle strength. So, while you might think you're offering something healthy, you're actually setting the stage for muscle loss and weakness. And that's the issue. The misunderstanding is that just because something seems healthy, it doesn't mean it's entirely good for you, especially in the context of elderly health. Now, I know this might be a lot to take in, and I'll be honest with you, this is just the tip of the iceberg. There are still 7 more fruits that could be secretly weakening your loved one's legs. It's eye-opening, isn't it? Keep watching, because what's coming next is even more shocking. The next fruit on this list is something that a lot of people eat thinking it's healthy, but it's actually worse for their legs than you'd think. Let me tell you about a client of mine, Mrs. Johnson. She was a vibrant woman in her 70s who adored grapes. Every day, she'd have a handful with her breakfast or as a snack throughout the day. She believed they were a healthy, antioxidant-packed choice. What could be better, right? But after some time, Mrs. Johnson started to experience something troubling: chronic leg pain. At first, it was just a slight ache, but it grew worse over the weeks. Her legs felt heavy, as though they had no strength. She thought it was just normal aging. But I couldn't help but wonder, what could be going on? Could something as innocent as grapes be contributing to her discomfort? Grapes are often considered one of the healthiest fruits out there. They're full of antioxidants, which are great for fighting off free radicals and keeping us healthy. But here's the catch: grapes are also packed with sugar. It's a natural sugar, yes, but it's still sugar, and when consumed in excess, it can have a serious impact. This sugar leads to inflammation in the body, and for seniors, inflammation is the enemy. Over time, inflammation can weaken the muscles, particularly in the legs. This means that while you might think you're giving your loved one a health boost with those grapes, what you're really doing is contributing to muscle weakness and circulation problems. And the worst part? Mrs. Johnson, like many seniors, didn't realize the harm those grapes were causing her legs. Here's the big misunderstanding: people often think grapes are harmless because they're natural and come with all those good antioxidants. But what most don't realize is that those same grapes are loaded with sugar, and sugar causes inflammation in the body. For someone with compromised circulation or muscle issues, even a small amount of this sugar can make a big difference. It worsens circulation, and the result is weak muscles that struggle to support the body's weight. It's easy to assume grapes are a healthy snack, but for seniors, that sugar can be doing far more harm than good. Mrs. Johnson's chronic leg pain was a direct result of that unnoticed, cumulative damage. We're just getting started here. Grapes might be a popular and well-loved fruit, but the next fruit on this list might be sitting right in your kitchen, and it could be even worse for your loved one's leg strength than grapes. You won't want to miss it, so stay with me as we uncover the next dangerous fruit. Imagine this: your elderly loved one is sitting down for a nice refreshing snack. They've got a big, juicy slice of pineapple on their plate, and they're enjoying it, thinking to themselves, "This is packed with vitamin C, I'm doing something good for my health." Pineapples are so often seen as a healthy treat, right? But here's the thing: what if that very fruit, the one they thought was helping, was actually doing more harm than good? It's hard to believe, but it's true. And it's something you need to know. Pineapples are undeniably rich in nutrients. They've got fiber, vitamin C, and even bromelain, which can aid in digestion. But here's where it gets tricky: pineapples are also loaded with sugar, and they're very acidic. Now, that sugar and acid combo is something most people don't consider when they're eating a pineapple. For seniors, that sugar can lead to blood sugar spikes, especially if they're already managing conditions like diabetes. These spikes cause inflammation in the body, and inflammation is one of the biggest culprits when it comes to weakening muscles and joints. If your loved one is eating pineapples regularly, they might not realize that the very thing they thought was good for them is actually contributing to muscle weakness, particularly in their legs. Over time, that inflammation can start to affect their leg strength and mobility, making it harder for them to walk, move around, or maintain their independence. Here's the misunderstanding a lot of people have: they think that because pineapples are full of nutrients and have a natural sweetness, they're automatically healthy. They're often recommended for boosting immune systems and digestion, but there's a catch. For seniors, especially those with mobility issues or blood sugar concerns, the high sugar content in pineapples can be a hidden problem. While the vitamin C is great for fighting off infections, it doesn't make up for the damage that sugar and acid can do to their joints and muscles. So, while you might be offering them a healthy snack, you could unknowingly be making their legs weaker over time. The inflammation caused by that sugar and acid buildup isn't something they'll feel immediately, but it could be contributing to their leg pain, muscle weakness, and overall mobility decline. Before we move on to the next fruit, think about how many times you've seen pineapples in your elderly loved one's shopping cart, or how often they enjoy them. It's easy to think that this fruit is always a healthy choice, but after hearing this, you might want to reconsider. Stay tuned, because there's still more to come. The next fruit on this list is another familiar one, and you might be shocked at how much worse it is for leg strength than even pineapples. I had a senior client a few months ago, let's call her Mrs. Parker. She loved mangoes. Every summer, she'd buy a dozen, excited to dig into her sweet, juicy treat. She swore that mangoes were the healthiest snack, and who could blame her? They're packed with vitamins, right? But over time, Mrs. Parker started noticing something strange. Her legs began to feel weaker. At first, it was just a little discomfort, then it progressed to aching, to the point where she couldn't walk without feeling exhausted. Could the mangoes she loved so much be to blame? I know it sounds odd, but it was worth looking into. And as we dug deeper, we found that mangoes, despite being a favorite of many seniors, could actually be contributing to her leg weakness. Mangoes are delicious, no doubt about that. They're rich in vitamins, including vitamin C and vitamin A, which are essential for immune function and overall health. But here's the thing, mangoes are also incredibly high in sugar. And when consumed regularly, that sugar can lead to inflammation in the body. Inflammation is something that seniors, especially those with leg weakness or joint issues, want to avoid at all costs. The sugar in mangoes can trigger an inflammatory response, and over time, this inflammation can affect the muscles and joints, particularly in the legs. So, while Mrs. Parker thought she was doing something healthy by enjoying her mangoes, the excess sugar was silently weakening her muscles, and she wasn't even aware of it. The sugar wasn't just affecting her blood sugar levels, it was impacting her legs, making them feel heavier and less mobile. The big misunderstanding here is that people think mangoes are great because they're full of vitamins. And they are. They're a rich source of nutrients. But the hidden danger in mangoes is their sugar content. For seniors, especially those with compromised leg strength or circulation, even natural sugars can have a significant negative impact. The inflammation caused by these sugars might not be immediately noticeable, but over time, it leads to muscle weakening and joint discomfort. So, while you might think you're giving your loved one a vitamin-packed, healthy snack, what you might actually be doing is contributing to the decline of their leg strength. It's easy to miss the connection, but it's real, and it's happening to more seniors than you think. The next fruit on our list might surprise you. It's something that's often considered a part of a healthy diet, yet it could secretly be doing more harm than good, especially for seniors. We'll get to that in just a moment, so stick with me as we uncover the next surprising culprit. You might want to rethink the fruits in your kitchen after hearing this. Oranges, one of the most popular fruits around, especially for seniors. They're packed with vitamin C, and it's hard to think of a fruit that's more commonly associated with boosting the immune system. I know many seniors who swear by oranges as a key part of their daily routine, believing they're doing themselves a favor by loading up on vitamin C. But here's the catch, after eating oranges regularly, some seniors have noticed something troubling. Their leg muscles started cramping up more often. And for others, their legs would feel sore and achy after a few slices of orange. What could be the connection? Could something as innocent as an orange be causing those painful cramps and weakness in their legs? While it's true that oranges are an excellent source of vitamin C, they also come with some downsides that many don't consider. Oranges are highly acidic, and they're also high in sugar. Now, for a senior dealing with leg muscle issues or poor circulation, this combination of acidity and sugar can be a real problem. The acid in oranges can irritate the digestive system and worsen inflammation in the body, and the sugar can cause blood sugar spikes. These spikes can lead to poor circulation, which, in turn, can cause muscle cramps and even weakness in the legs. So, while your loved one might be enjoying that refreshing orange, they could be unknowingly making their leg pain and cramps worse. The acidity can lead to irritation in the muscles, and over time, that can cause more serious discomfort in their legs, making movement even more difficult. The misunderstanding here is that people often think of oranges as a must-have for seniors. They're rich in vitamin C, so naturally, we associate them with boosting health and strength. But what most people don't realize is that the sugar and acid content in oranges might actually be making things worse for seniors, particularly those already dealing with circulation problems or muscle weakness. The acid and sugar work together to increase inflammation in the body, and that's exactly what you want to avoid if your loved one is already struggling with muscle and joint pain. The truth is, oranges might not be the best option for seniors dealing with leg strength issues. It's one of those things where, even though it seems healthy, it's not always the right choice for someone who's struggling with leg weakness or pain. We still have a few more fruits to cover in this video, so don't go anywhere. The next one might just be one of your favorite snacks, and I bet you didn't know the effect it could have on your loved one's legs. Stay tuned, because you're going to want to know about this one. Cherries. They're often touted as one of the healthiest fruits because of their high antioxidant content. And I get it. I've seen many seniors enjoy cherries, believing that they're not just a sweet treat, but a health-boosting powerhouse. But for one senior I know, cherries became a painful reminder of how even the healthiest-looking fruits can deceive us. This senior, let's call her Mrs. Adams, loved cherries. She would eat them daily, thinking she was helping her body fight off free radicals and boosting her overall health. But after a few weeks of regular consumption, she started experiencing something strange. Her joints began to hurt more than usual, and her legs, which she'd always thought were strong, felt achy and weak. She couldn't understand it. How could cherries, something she believed to be healthy, be causing her so much discomfort? Here's why. Cherries, like other fruits, are often seen as harmless, but there's more to them than meets the eye. While they are rich in antioxidants, they're also high in sugar and acids. And this combination can be a serious problem for seniors, especially those with sensitive joints or pre-existing conditions like arthritis. The sugar in cherries can cause inflammation in the body, and that inflammation isn't just limited to the skin or muscles, it can affect the joints too. For someone already struggling with joint pain or weakness, cherries can make the situation worse. They increase the inflammation in the joints, which can lead to more pain, swelling, and discomfort. And when the inflammation reaches the muscles, it weakens them, making it harder for the legs to support the body's weight. So, while Mrs. Adams thought she was doing something good for herself, those cherries were actually contributing to her joint pain and leg weakness. The common misconception here is that cherries are completely harmless, just a sweet, healthy snack. People often believe that because cherries are packed with antioxidants, they're doing wonders for their health. But what they don't realize is that the high sugar and acidic content in cherries can have the opposite effect, especially for seniors. The sugar triggers inflammation, which aggravates joint pain and weakens muscles. In fact, cherries can even make existing conditions worse. It's easy to overlook this, but for seniors with leg weakness or joint issues, the inflammation from cherries could be setting them back in their ability to move around comfortably. They might seem like a harmless fruit, but they can actually exacerbate the very problems you're trying to avoid. 2 more fruits to go, just 2 more, and then you'll know all the hidden dangers lurking in your loved one's diet. The next fruit on the list might surprise you. It's actually much more dangerous than you think. Stay tuned for the final revelations, because what's coming next could change how you look at fruits forever. Who doesn't love a crisp apple, right? It's the quintessential healthy snack. You bite into it, and it's refreshing, full of that satisfying crunch. We've all been told that apples are great for you, they're packed with fiber and vitamins. But what if I told you that this seemingly harmless fruit could actually be damaging your loved one's leg strength? I know, it's hard to believe. Apples are supposed to be healthy. But there's a hidden truth behind that glossy skin and sweet bite that could be setting your loved one up for muscle weakness. Let me explain. Apples, while healthy in many ways, have a high glycemic index. What does that mean? Well, the glycemic index is a measure of how quickly a food causes your blood sugar levels to rise. And when foods with high glycemic indexes, like apples, enter the bloodstream, they cause a spike in blood sugar. For seniors, those spikes in blood sugar can lead to poor circulation. And we all know that poor circulation can affect leg strength, leading to weakness, cramping, and even fatigue in the legs. Over time, the constant fluctuation in blood sugar can also exacerbate issues like joint pain and muscle deterioration. So, while that apple might seem like the perfect snack for your loved one, it could actually be contributing to the very leg weakness you're trying to avoid. Here's the real misunderstanding. Apples are often touted as the healthiest snack choice because they're low in calories, full of fiber, and provide vitamins. But the truth is, their sugar content, especially the natural sugars, can be more harmful than we think. Because apples have a high glycemic index, they're actually not ideal for seniors, especially those who may have diabetes or circulation problems. The sugar can cause spikes in blood sugar levels, leading to a range of health issues, including muscle weakness. So, while an apple might seem like a perfect alternative to other sugary snacks, for seniors with leg strength issues, it's actually a potential risk. The sugar in apples could be weakening their legs, and they may not even realize it. We're almost there. We've covered 7 fruits that could secretly be harming your loved one's leg strength. But the next one, the final fruit, might shock you. This one is so common, you'd never guess how dangerous it could be. Let's reveal the last fruit that could be quietly sabotaging your loved one's leg strength. Stick around, you don't want to miss this. Pears, they're sweet, juicy, and often seen as the perfect, healthy snack. You've probably grabbed a pear as a quick, refreshing option, thinking you're making a great choice for your loved one. They're delicious, right? But here's the big question, could those pears you're handing out so freely be hiding a dangerous secret? It's hard to believe, but pears, just like many of the other fruits on this list, could be doing more harm than good when it comes to your loved one's leg strength. Let me explain why. Pears, despite being sweet and full of fiber, are also high in sugar. The thing is, many seniors don't realize that even natural sugars, like the ones in pears, can cause inflammation in the body. And inflammation is a major culprit when it comes to weakening muscles, particularly in the legs. When inflammation takes hold in the muscles and joints, it can cause leg discomfort, fatigue, and eventually, muscle weakness. So, while pears seem like a healthy, low-calorie snack, they're actually contributing to the same issue that the other fruits on this list are, that hidden sugar that leads to inflammation and ultimately, leg weakness. It's a slow process, but over time, the damage can build up. Here's the biggest misunderstanding about pears. People often think they're one of the best options for seniors because they're packed with fiber. And fiber is great, don't get me wrong, it's good for digestion, helps maintain healthy cholesterol levels, and promotes overall health. But what people overlook is the sugar content in pears. While that fiber helps with digestion, the sugar, just like in many of the other fruits on this list, can lead to muscle inflammation and pain in the legs. So, even though pears are touted as healthy, for seniors with leg weakness or joint discomfort, they might be contributing to those very issues. That's the final fruit. You've now learned about 8 fruits that could be secretly undermining your loved one's leg strength. But before you go, don't worry, there's hope. You can protect your loved ones and help improve their leg strength. Keep watching, because I'm about to share some tips and alternatives that can help strengthen their legs and keep them moving more comfortably. It's time to take control of their health, starting with what goes into their diet. Now, think about everything we've just covered, the 8 fruits that might seem harmless on the surface, but could actually be weakening your loved one's leg strength. How many times have you seen these fruits in your loved one's diet? Maybe they've been eating them for years without even knowing the impact they're having. They might be enjoying these fruits, thinking they're doing something good for their health, but the truth is, these common fruits could be silently contributing to leg weakness, discomfort, and even loss of mobility. These fruits aren't just snacks, they're part of a bigger picture. And now that you know, it's time to really reflect on how something as simple as what's in their diet could be affecting their health in ways that go unnoticed. Take a moment to imagine this is happening in your own family. Your loved ones, the ones you care for deeply. Could they be unknowingly consuming these fruits that are making their legs weaker? Could they be facing this silent struggle, not realizing that what they're eating is contributing to their discomfort? The pain, the muscle weakness, the difficulty walking, it could all be linked to something as seemingly innocent as a snack or fruit in their diet. Would you be able to recognize these signs if they were happening to someone you love? Would you be able to make a change in time to prevent further damage? I know it's not easy to think about, but this is the reality for many families, and the sooner you catch on, the sooner you can act. But here's the silver lining, the good news is, now that you know what these fruits can do, you have the power to make a change. You are not powerless in this situation. Knowledge is power, and now that you're aware of the effects these fruits can have on your loved one's leg strength, you can begin to make informed decisions. Start by swapping out these potentially harmful fruits for healthier, leg-strengthening options. There are plenty of fruits and foods that can actually support leg health and overall mobility. It's not about depriving them of everything they enjoy, it's about making smarter, healthier choices that protect their well-being in the long run. You have the ability to make a difference, and it starts with what's on their plate. Let's get real for a moment. Ignoring these signs, the impact of these fruits on your loved one's health, doesn't just mean a temporary inconvenience. It's not just about a little muscle pain here and there. No, ignoring these fruits can lead to something much more serious. It can cause permanent damage to their muscles, leading to chronic weakness. Over time, this can make it harder for them to walk, to stand, or even to move comfortably in their daily lives. You might think, it's just a little leg discomfort, but what if that discomfort turns into something more debilitating? Muscle weakness, poor circulation, and joint pain, they don't just disappear on their own. If left unchecked, these problems can severely affect their quality of life. But here's the good news, by making some simple changes, you can help your loved one avoid these issues before they get worse. You can make a real difference by starting with their diet, and that change starts with you. Now, I know these are tough truths to face. I know it's hard to think that something as simple as a fruit could be contributing to your loved one's leg weakness, but facing this reality is the first step towards making things better. These are the kinds of changes we don't always see coming, and it's easy to brush them off. But the truth is, acting now is the best thing you can do for your loved one. You don't have to wait until the damage is irreversible. It's not too late to step in and make a change. You have the power to protect them, to make sure they don't have to suffer in silence or deal with unnecessary discomfort. You can improve their health and mobility by making better choices today. And that difference, those small changes, can lead to a huge impact in their lives. It might feel overwhelming, but you are not alone in this. Together, you can help them regain strength, mobility, and confidence. And that's a difference worth making. Alright, let's quickly recap what we've uncovered. The 8 fruits we discussed, bananas, grapes, pineapples, mangoes, oranges, cherries, apples, and pears, might seem harmless, but they could be secretly weakening your loved one's leg strength. The sugars, the acidity, the hidden inflammation, they're all contributing to muscle weakness, joint discomfort, and poor circulation. But there's still one more thing you need to know about improving their health. This isn't the end of the story. It's just the beginning. Stay tuned for my next video, I promise, you won't want to miss it. So, here's a question for you, which of these fruits surprised you the most? Did you have any idea that they could be harming your loved one's leg strength? Maybe you've noticed them eating these fruits regularly. Have you seen any signs of muscle weakness or discomfort in them? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let's talk about it in the comments below. Share your experiences, and let's start a conversation about how we can all do better for the seniors we care about. If you found this information helpful, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any future tips on how to improve your loved one's health and well-being. I've got more valuable content coming your way, and you won't want to miss it. Also, if you found this video valuable, go ahead and hit that like button and share it with someone who needs to hear this. You never know, it could make a world of difference for someone else. Stay tuned, and remember, your care can truly change their health for the better. I can't wait to share these life-changing insights with you. Until then, take care, and let's keep working together to make the lives of our loved ones better.